At Gallo Mechanical, safety is of the utmost importance, along with quality, production, and cost control. We take pride in our work and the safe environments we maintain for our personnel. It's a fact. Injuries and accidents can be prevented by complying with established safety procedures. Our company has made safety a priority for over 70 years, and it all begins with you.
Welcome to Gallo Mechanical. I'm Cody Morgan, Safety Director for Gallo. 80% of all accidents are caused by unsafe acts. The other 20% are caused by unsafe conditions. At Gallo, we focus on changing behaviors through safety education to eliminate unsafe acts. Gallo provides the training, tools, and machinery for you to work safely. The safety director and supervisors are charged with making sure each department not only complies but exceeds basic state and federal safety requirements. Employees have a duty to know and understand the safety rules of the job and immediately report unsafe conditions to supervisors. All employees of Gallo Mechanical will be held accountable for safety performance. We require that our employees use good sense and sound judgment on the job, and we encourage, expect, and value input to improve our safety program. At Gallo, we support a safety culture where the workforce knows through the consistent activities of management that high levels of safe behavior is expected and that injuries will not be tolerated. We move employees from complacency to involvement and onto empowerment, where they accept their responsibility to prevent injuries to themselves and others. Segment 1, Substance Abuse Testing. Gallo does not tolerate the use of illegal drugs, either on or off the job, and alcohol abuse in the workplace. Any employee determined to be in violation of this policy is subject to disciplinary action, which may include termination, even for the first offense. Use common sense and follow the rules and regulations pertaining to your job. Every employee has the right and the responsibility to stop any unsafe act or conditions that are present or have the potential of developing into an unsafe situation. You can get involved, question, and rectify any unsafe activity without the fear of reprimand or retaliation. If you are injured in the course and scope of your employment, you must report the injury immediately to your supervisor. Reporting an incident or injury to a coworker is not acceptable. Provide all necessary details, submit to a medical examination, and a post-accident drug screen. Cooperate with claim adjusters and medical professionals so you can return to work as soon as possible. Incident investigation begins immediately while the facts are still fresh in your mind. Any employee may submit a written report of an unsafe working condition directly to the safety office. Segment 2, Hazard Identification and Assessment. The safety director and safety officer will make random job site inspections and will notify the foreman of any unsafe conditions. Every job would use the JSA tool. Job safety analysis works by finding hazards and eliminating or minimizing them before the job is performed and before they have a chance to become accidents. Use JSA for job clarification and retraining of employees as a refresher on jobs that run infrequently, as an accident investigation tool, and for informing employees of specific job hazards and protective measures. Always wear the protective equipment given to you. It is issued to you at no cost to the employee except for safety toe footwear and prescription safety glasses. Gallo offers up to $100 towards prescription safety glasses and 20% back on safety toe shoes. Turn the receipt into your foreman. If you're exposed to a fall 6 feet or greater, Gallo Mechanical will provide you with appropriate fall protection. This is the harness that we'll be giving you. There's a few things to look at before you put this on. First, you want to grab it by the D-ring right here in the back. And when you lift it up, you want to inspect it. Look for any abnormalities, anything that may be in question. Look for the stitching. If something's cut, frayed, or damaged, we need to throw it out. Look for the buckles, make sure there's no rust. Look at the leg straps, make sure that the holes are not elongated or rusting. What we say, when in doubt, throw it out. We'll provide you with another fall protection harness. So once you put your harness on, you want to make sure that this buckle right here is going right across your chest. And once you got that done, you follow it down here and you put your leg straps in. That's another thing to look for. So once you pull them up and get it tight, you want it just a little bit uncomfortable, but not too relaxed. Once you do that, you want to slide your hand through here to make sure you can fit your hand. You know that's the right tension. And lastly, you want to make sure you or a buddy can tell you if this D-ring is right in the middle of your shoulder blades, because that's where it needs to be. And then here's your seat in case you fall. All employees have the responsibility to follow all written and spoken safety rules. If an employee is observed or discovered through investigation to have violated the safety rule, appropriate action will be taken. If you have a question about any task, just ask. And if you need to get a hold of the safety director, you all have my number. Segment 3, ladder safety. So before using the ladder, what you need to do is get the ladder and inspect it. So what you want to do is open it up, make sure the hinge is fully locked. The ladder is level and secured at the base. And what you want to do, you want to look for any defects or cracks in these rivets right here, any missing rungs, and lastly, you always want to make sure that these safety labels are on there. That's a pretty hefty OSHA fine, and we want to make sure all of our ladders have these labels that are legible. So when ascending the ladder, make sure you do not go above this step, and this is not a seat. Slips, trips, and falls cause 15% of all accidental deaths and are second only to motor vehicles as cause of fatalities. Employees must maintain work areas free from slip, trip, and fall hazards. Notify the foreman if a hazard exists. Floor openings and holes shall be protected and marked. The covering shall be fixed into place with hole marked on it. Proper storage procedures are required for dry, raw materials, finished products, flammables, and compressed gases. In order to prevent fires, keep your compressed gases in OSHA-approved containers like this one. Compressed gas cylinders shall be stored upright and secured. Oxygen cylinders must be stored a minimum of 20 feet from other combustible gas cylinders. Keep exits and aisles clear to avoid injuries and illnesses. Musculoskeletal disorders account for a majority of reported injuries, and we must minimize the risk and incidents. Whenever possible, use forklifts and hand trucks. If moving equipment is not available, please ask for help. Be sure to keep the neck and back straight while lifting and do not twist. All hand and power tools shall be maintained in a safe condition regardless of ownership. Tools are subject to inspection at any time. Employees shall always use the proper tool for the job. Makeshift and substitute tools shall not be used. All tools and equipment will be inspected before each use. No modification to any tools will be accepted. Always wear the correct personal protective equipment. Due to the significant risk posed by silica dust, it is critical that all personnel involved in operations that could potentially create silica dust take specific action to ensure that, as much as possible, a hazard is not created. We select the most effective control technologies available and assist that best practices are followed at our work sites. Our dust control system employs two well-established techniques. Local exhaust ventilation. A vacuum-attached system will capture and control the dust at its source whenever possible. And the wet method. Water spray systems will be used when drilling or chipping into the floor. Wet slurry will be cleaned using a vacuum, no sweeping. Employees will be advised if work areas may contain suspected asbestos. Immediately report any suspected asbestos-containing material to your supervisor. Segment 4. Employees are responsible for the correct use and inspection of electrical equipment, tools, and appliances. Only qualified employees may work on electrical circuit parts or equipment. Electrical equipment and tools must be inspected prior to each use. Faulty equipment and tools shall be removed from service immediately. Only qualified personnel may make repairs to supply cords on electrical tools and extensions. Because Gallo does not qualify anyone for this, the tools will be repaired by the manufacturer. Use only 3-wire grounded extension cords that conform to a hard service rating of 14 amps or higher. All extension cords shall be plugged into one of the following: a GFCI outlet, a GFCI built into the cord, or a GFCI adapter used between the wall outlet and cord plug. Only authorized employees shall perform lockout tagout. If an energy source can be locked out, a lockout tagout device shall be used. If an energy source cannot be locked out with a lockout device, then a tagout device shall be used. Cutting, brazing, soldering, grinding, and welding shall only be permitted for trained and authorized employees. All hot work procedures for specific job sites will be followed. Flammable and combustible liquids and material will be kept 35 feet from work area. Make sure floors are swept and cleaned of combustibles within 35 feet of work area. At least one 10-pound dry chemical fire extinguisher shall be accessible from the work area. Protective dividers or blankets, such as welding curtains or non-combustible walls, will be provided to contain sparks and slag. Gallo Mechanical shall maintain a list of hazardous chemicals on the job site. A list of these chemicals shall be readily accessible at each work site and available to any employee upon request. The safety data sheets, or SDS, will be kept up for as long as the chemical is used. Training is provided whenever a new chemical is introduced into a work site. As the weather warms up, each job site will develop site-specific procedures to deal with heat as it relates to heat illness and heat stroke. Bloodborne pathogens are microorganisms found in human blood and other body fluids that diseases such as hepatitis B and AIDS live. They can enter the body through the eyes, nose, or mouth, or a cut in the skin, or a puncture from a contaminated object. After encountering possible pathogens, wash your skin thoroughly with soap and water, even if you are wearing PPE. Vigorously scrub your hands in affected areas. If running water isn't available, use a waterless disinfectant hand cleaner until soap and water are available. As a condition of employment, employees must become familiar with, observe, and obey company rules and established policies for health and safety to prevent injuries while at work. If you have any questions, please ask your supervisor and contact the safety office. Thank you and welcome to Gallo Mechanical.